Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our kind of homesteading.
Are we on video again? Can you see us?
Yeah. Shauna's husband is with us today.
Thank
Everyone say hello to Honest, and that's the only reason you get to see us. Apparently, we can't do it all. Anyways, you cut me off. I was in our intro.
I was
Everyone
excited.
knows. Well, I think they know who we are.
I was having a really good hair day last week, too. It was really...
You are so random. Stop.
Because we didn't have the
because
video.
you weren't on video. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about your hair day?
Because we weren't on video, and I was I was really like, I'm having a great hair day. Like,
it's
everything.
Meant to be.
I know. And then our camera just is like, turns off at 2 minutes. And we should have kept that 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So everybody believed us that we did
Why
do
wouldn't
it.
they believe us? Do you care if they believe us?
Yeah, a little
Do
bit.
you?
Because they're probably like, stupid.
Stupid bitches. Can't fucking figure it out.
Sherry's a stupid bitch. I'm not.
She is too. Don't worry.
Oh, that's funny. Anyways, hello.
We have this ongoing feud about who's the bitchiest. Like an ongoing little. It's not a feud. It's more.
It's
more
not
of
ongoing. Everybody knows it's you. It's not.
That's not true.
I mean, people are very aware. Everyone's like, she's the mean one.
You know, just because you do it behind people's backs doesn't mean it's
it makes
better.
it better.
It does not make it better.
It absolutely does.
Just because I'm like upfront and be
nobody
like, nah.
knows. Everybody's like, she's very nice.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, just you. You're the only one. So you can't call me out.
One of these days, Shauna. One of these days.
So today's episode is officially, in our heads, our year episode.
It is our year. Why do you say in our heads?
In our heads.
It's 52 effing
52.
weeks. That's a year, people.
So congratulations to us.
That's right. It's funny. It's strange how you're like in our head. It's a year.
In our heads.
I mean, we're not the only one who go by the
I don't know.
whatever.
I just was like, I feel
called.
well.
What's it called? There's a name for it. Tell me. Come on, Honest. This is where you come in. All your smarts.
Calendar?
Yes.
It's just
There's different types of calendars, and we go by the.
Oh.
Go by the,
I was like.
Gregorian calendar.
Thank you. It's some weird
a
word.
solar
Yeah,
calendar,
that's right. There it is.
Anyways, ignore
52 weeks.
Ignore her. It's a year, so we were excited. We are doing a giveaway.
It's already out. We've already posted on Facebook and Instagram, and you must go to those pages.
You must.
To be involved in it. Sorry, we can't really do a lot for you through this route of podcasting. So anyways, we have a Facebook page, Arcana of Homesteading. We have an Instagram page, also Arcana of Homesteading. And
same.
Go there. You can actually enter the contest twice if you so wish it. And
if you wish it.
More chances of winning.
You're so loud, it hurts my ears. Sorry.
Okay. And then you see,
Sorry. You can enter twice. It's magical. And then we're going to announce the winners on our next podcast. So originally it was going to be our year podcast, this one, but we weren't giving ourselves enough time because we have to obviously record earlier.
Yes,
and it's like a process, right? So we wanted to give everybody enough time to enter. So we
get in on there.
Are totally going to announce it on the following episode, which would come out on the 16th, I believe.
Yes, it will be April 16th.
So that one. So sign up now as soon as you can.
Winners announced. And we're going to have multiple winners.
Because we have to pick the winners by Friday of, what's the Friday next week? The 8th?
Yeah.
I think I put on the, when I created the giveaway thingy, whatever you want to fucking call it. I put on there that we would have to close the contest by a certain date.
Yeah, so
I'm not remembering that date. It's like the 11th.
It has to be the 8th because that's when we record.
I don't think I put the 8th, so that's unfortunate. Whatever it says on that thing on Instagram and Facebook, that's what it is, and we'll just go with that, and maybe we'll have to record a few days later.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
We're going to figure it out. All for you.
All for you. So, yeah, so go ahead and do that. And then if you can, rate our podcast. That helps us out a ton. So if you have a chance to do that, that would be great.
Well, and so Shauna's making this seem not important, but rating our podcast is like if you love our show.
I had lots of feeling.
You didn't. If you love our show, this is literally the best thing you could do for us because it helps with visibility, awareness of our show, and the more you rate something, I think I talked about it last time, just like anything, like when I go to purchase anything or buy anything or whatever, not that you're purchasing our show, but whenever I'm going to make any kind of an investment, and you're making the time investment, correct? I'm going to look at reviews to ensure that this is going to be something that fits me. So other, listeners, they are going on and looking at reviews for shows before they, oh, you know what? I am going to listen to this. And so the reviews help a ton. Apple Podcasts, if you're on your mobile device, you can scroll all the way down. I have chocolate on my hand. You can scroll all the way down.
Saving it for later.
And at the very bottom, that's going to hit, you're going to see the little rate and review button, and just hit that. And then you'll be able to plug in your words and, leave us 5 stars, of course, and you better. And
You look very sexy with your little off the shoulder.
It's very big.
I'm gonna do that next time. I'm gonna wear
I don't mean
cute.
for it to happen.
No, it looked cute. I wasn't saying it so you would
cover up.
It's very sexy shoulders. Sexy shoulder day.
Sexy shoulder day.
Anyways, so beyond all that, I'm bored. So we're gonna start.
Well, we do have a topic for today. We thought that we were gonna look back on our, the podcast, the episodes that did the best and blah blah, but we were bored with that too.
It was by far the one that everybody loved was chickens for your homestead, or
everyone loves chickens
for your backyard or your farm.
I think because everyone has them.
Yeah, everybody has them. So that was that was one of our first podcasts we ever did. I think it was our second episode.
Obviously, it's probably gonna have more.
So if you haven't listened to that one, you should go back and check it out because everybody else seems to like it. And then, but today we're going to talk about homestead tips. So we were trying to gather all of our knowledge for the past year and what we wanted to tell you guys. Because, we do like providing you with information and laughs at the same time.
Yes.
So that's what our goal is today. We'll see if we win. I think I'm going to need another shot of something before I start.
Another?
I took one right before.
Did you really?
Well, it wasn't a shot. I had some.
Look at you.
I didn't have a sexy sweater, so I was feeling very. I was I only have my sexy chicken shirt on, but I was like.
Did you take a shot of your tincture, or what did you do?
No, I wasn't being healthy at all. I had some port.
Nice.
I was feeling extra fancy. We were talking about Bridgerton again, and so I was I need some port before this all begins.
Yeah, when you talk about Bridgerton, you got to have port.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like port. If I did, I would drink it when I was talking about Bridgerton, though.
It's good because it's sweet. I don't like wine, but I like port.
I really don't like anything unless it has lots of sugar in it.
I love sugar.
I love sugar.
Yeah.
Our first one. Our first tip for any homesteader just starting out or what have you. Start with chickens. And we've said that before. I don't think we can impress upon you enough, though, is that
if you're a homesteader that wants to get into animals.
Yes, okay? Exactly. So there's plenty of homesteady things that aren't animals.
Yeah,
and that's
totally.
Great.
You don't we're not saying if you don't have chickens, you're not a homesteader at all.
No.
But if you are planning to get in, you're I want land, I want animals or whatever, start with chickens because they are very easy to keep. You don't have to have a shit ton of them to get eggs or anything like that.
Right.
You don't need a rooster. I know we've said that a bunch of times, but just to tell you again, you don't need a rooster. You can just literally have 4 or 5 chickens in your backyard, no problem. They don't how larger animals can really disrupt the land, they can be really harsh on the land.
They're chickens, so tiny.
Chickens
so
are super easy.
Yes.
They they do eat a lot of insects and bugs and things like that. So you don't.
Yeah, so they can be, not only are they super easy, but they're really beneficial for your. We don't see a ton of insects in our house because we have so many chickens walking around and they eat them all.
Something in my eye.
I'm very sorry. And on top of that, their maintenance level that they require is very, very low, which is great, especially for a first time animal, just kind of dipping your toes into the whole homesteading animal thing. They barely require anything. I mean, some feed and then maybe some louse powder once in a while, and that's only if you're in an area where you need that. They're just so easy. And then, their coop, they have to have a little coop at night to be all tucked in and safe and things. But besides that,
and we have mentioned that in other podcasts too. You shouldn't get anything like a chicken or anything until you have their house. ready for them. Just like you wouldn't want to move onto your property like and not have somewhere to sleep at night. So same thing.
Yeah,
with your,
just don't do that.
Same thing with your animals because they're just going to get
as
eaten right
tempting
away.
as it can be sometimes, because I know sometimes you're in a situation and a friend is like, oh, my chickens just had all these babies. Do you want them? And you're like, oh my gosh, we don't have a coop, but they're so tiny right now. They're not going to need their coop forever. So yeah, I'll take them. But then those chickens grow so fast. And before you know it, you're like, oh my God, these chickens are huge. They need to be moved into a coop and I don't have that space for them yet. And then you risk the, them being eaten since you don't have the proper housing and all that other stuff. And then they're not comfortable, which is bad stuff.
And the other thing I wanted to mention too is if you are just getting into chickens and let's say you are like, I just want to like get a coop already built or whatever, and you find something on like, let's say, even at your local feed store, you have like a Facebook thingy where people are giving away stuff and somebody's giving away like a little coop or whatever. And you're like, this is perfect. You still have to go through and get the, the hardware cloth and things like that to make sure that animals can't dig in and predators can't get to your chickens. Don't just get something thinking like, oh, well, it's from the feed store, it should be fine, and plonk it on the ground and think nothing can get to them. Yeah,
that's a very good point. And I think a lot of people, especially a first-time chicken owner, they would assume that, right? Like, well, I just bought this coop, it's completely ready, and I'm just going to put it here, and then my chickens are going to be great. And it might take a few more steps for your chickens to be completely secure, depending on your predator load.
Yeah, but a lot of things that are basically everywhere, like your possums and skunks, they can dig it under something like within a second. So doing something along the bottom, like the hardware mesh along the bottom of the coop and making sure that it's secure, maybe putting like cement blocks or something around the coop, whatever. There's different things you can do to basically make sure that no predators are going to get to your chickens, because I think the biggest thing when you're starting off homesteading are those setbacks are so disheartening when you have such a huge setback where your whole flock is taken out by a predator, and then it really puts a bad taste for homesteading in your mouth that you shouldn't have. Like that can be prevented.
Right, exactly.
So not
all
saying
preventable.
That shit is totally going to happen and you're going to have days where you're just like, I fucking hate this, but we're just trying to help you kind of get through those first, few years of being like, I got this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Giving you tips and wisdom that we learned the hard way ourselves,
Well, I didn't do any of those things, but
you didn't do any of what things?
Well, we just talked about. I didn't do that. I'm amazing.
I didn't do that. I'm amazing. Right from the beginning, always have been, always will be.
I don't like we were talking about in our last episode, like we kind of like grew up more or less with just knowing animals, they need a lot more care than just like, here's some food, here's some water, like get the fuck,
right. No, for sure.
So it's just like,
well, and we're just animal people, and I don't just want to throw food and water to my animals. You know what I mean? Like I genuinely like my animals. Like I genuinely want to go out and spend time with my chickens, and I enjoy their company. Mm-hmm. And the goats and everything else we have. Yeah. So and that matters. And that's another thing. I think honestly, you got to know you, right? Like that's probably a good tip, is like knowing you. If you are going to get into homesteading, you're like, oh, I want to be more self-sustainable. Like, okay, what are the reasons you want to homestead? And then who are you as a person? Like, do you not like animals? And then you probably shouldn't go that route. Do more of like the gardening, and there's plenty to do. I mean, gardening.
Are you like, ew, dirt?
I mean, if you don't like dirt, I would not suggest it at all. It is, my house is always just fucking filthy. I have so many dogs and the cats, and I have like goats in the house and chickens too. And I can't even tell you what our floors, we have like that laminate, like wood flooring. So I can pick anything up off it, which I appreciate. I could never imagine having carpet.
Oh, right.
Oh my God. But like,
it's a poopocalypse.
Yeah, seriously. If you do have carpet, I suggest ripping it up immediately. And laying down something that you can just clean anything off of. But yeah, it's a very, it's dirty. It's a very dirty lifestyle. Like not in the sense of like nasty, but dirty, like, there's fucking dirt everywhere. Like, I don't know.
Poop.
And poop. Lots of poop. And some throw up.
Yeah. And like lots of bodily fluids. Yeah. That you're like, you'd rather not have it into your carpet, and you're like, why would I have whatever in my house? Because sometimes you're gonna, your chicken's gonna be hurt or sick or an animal, and you're gonna have to put them in your fucking house.
Yeah. That just
like if
goes
you have
with
dogs, like sometimes they just throw up wherever. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. No, our chickens don't even need to be hurt to bring them in. My girls are like, I come into their room and there's like, why are you playing with that chicken? Like, she wanted to come in. And I'm like, no, she doesn't. Put her back outside.
No, well, yeah. I think we are definitely, when we say our kind of homesteading, it's definitely ours.
Mean it.
We're not the average homesteader.
Well, I don't even have to have my house. Like, my house doesn't have to be kept clean, though. That's my point here, is like, I feel like there's a lot of people. There's some people that are just like, oh, no, my house has to be spotless all the time. I'm going to freak out if it's not. And it's like, I mean, you better have some great steps about rules, hard, fast rules about going into your home.
I say just let it go. Let it go. And sing the song.
You should sing the song. Yeah.
I think it'd be really hard to be like OCD and a homesteader.
It'd be almost impossible. That's my point. It's like, it'd just be crazy.
Like, you can like you can be like a minimalist and be a homesteader. Those things can go hand in hand. But like, to be like OCD to the point where you like always feel like you have to clean, and then like your first storm and people are like, like, can you imagine? Like, no.
Your first storm, everything's everywhere. You're like,
but
this is the shits.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah, I think that'd be very, very hard if like mentally on that person.
Mentally, you're going
Exhausting.
to go crazy. Fat shit crazy. Or maybe just say chicken shit crazy.
So, yes, and our next tip is to start small. And we have said this before.
Yes.
But start smaller than you think that you should. So, Sherry made a good point earlier. You get really excited. People are like, oh, I have, these baby goats and they need a home. And you're like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bottle feed these baby goats. I've never done it before. It's going to be great. And
I mean, it is going to be cute. And you're going to take great pictures. And you're going to have some
great
great
memories.
Instagram. But it's going to be great for Instagram. Fucking Instagram. Anyways, it's going to be great for numerous reasons, but it's also going to be very hard if you're not prepared.
So if you start small and not necessarily jump into the whole, like, I'm going to get bottle baby goats and bottle feed them in my kitchen.
Right.
Because that is also, like, think of, most people have had puppies, right? And those first few weeks when you have the puppy and it's just exhausting because they have to get up and they have to pee, but you're not bottle feeding it, okay? It can fucking eat it on its own. But you're like...
So not only is a baby goat having to poop and pee all the time everywhere, and by the way, they don't, like, tell you. They just walk and just poop and just a little Cocoa Pebble trail behind them. Mm-hmm. And when they're first born, it's not Cocoa Pebbles. It's way grosser than Cocoa Pebbles. And and then on top of that, you have to bottle feed them. Which is a lot of work.
And it means you getting up lots of times in the middle of the night to bottle feed. And sometimes you have to, if you have goats, and that's what you've signed up for. But this is like, you're already kind of experienced as a homesteader. And you're like, okay, this is just something. Sometimes we just have to bottle feed a baby goat. It's just like, it just happens. Yeah, we know that now.
Yeah.
But don't start off that way, because again, it's going to put a bad taste in your mouth, because you're going to be like, this is exhausting. I can't keep up with this. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Like, don't start off that way. It's never a good, if you really want goats and you're like, or whatever hooved animals, you start off with a wether. Just 2 wethers, obviously. Never get one of anything. I wanted to make that point earlier when I said, when you get a chicken, never get a chicken, a goat, a anything. Okay, just everything has to come in 2s. Think of like Noah's Ark, 2 by 2.
You can also think of yourself and like, you're social, right? Humans are naturally social. Even if you like, I don't like people, you're still social and you need human connection to a certain extent. So every animal is the same way. Like, the only animal that's not the way is your fucking cat, and they still come to you to bother you for attention sometimes, right? So it's like, any animal that you're gonna get on your homestead, especially any animal that lives outside, they're prey animals, which means they're herd animals, and they need others around them to feel secure. And if you have one goat, she's just going to stand there and scream. And if you have one chicken, she's going to be a really upset chicken, and she's going to be bothering you all the time. So, yeah, you have to get more than one.
At least 2.
At least 2.
At least. You should have, I would say 3, but
and,
obviously.
We started with wethers.
We did.
We started with, they were alpine crosses, I believe.
We bottle fed, though. Cause...
We did bottle feed, because that's our parents. Totally. Well, it's mom being like, we're doing this all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she gave that to us. And so now we're telling you guys not to do it. We've done it. So, and you just
and it was great.
It was great, but you're just going to have to go through, unfortunately, there's learning curves there, obviously, when you're like going to jump in with 2 feet. Always going to be learning curves. So, Yeah, but we started with wethers, and I mean, they were great. Easy. Wethers.
Easy.
It's a fixed
Like,
male
we didn't
for
start
everyone
like
that doesn't know
milking
that.
right
A
off the
goat.
bat. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't no milking, no
was
births. It was just two goats.
Two goats
you
that
know?
we would go in their pasture. We'd play with them. They'd
Yeah.
follow us around the property.
It was
just,
so easy, so nice.
You just felt like, what's her name from the book? Like Heidi. Like, the mountains are going to make you well. Like, skipping around our property with the
mountains are gonna make you well.
Yeah.
Run, Heidi, run.
So
Yeah.
it was,
So it's, and then, you gradually, and then see, those wethers help you then learn, right? Like, you're learning from those animals, and whether those chickens or goats or whatever, you're learning from those first couple, and you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? And then, slowly then, oh, okay, now I feel like I have knowledge. I confidently can go and get some does to milk,
This should be after like a year, though.
You should give yourself some
You
time.
shouldn't give yourself like 2 months.
That's not. I mean, what kind of knowledge base could you have in 2 months?
I don't know. I just want to make
anything?
sure people are understanding us to our full extent. And
It's like a parent having like an infant being like, I'm all knowing. Like,
I mean, how many parents do that though? They have a baby and then they look at a teenage with like a mom with their teenager and they're like, oh, my precious baby will never be like that.
I love that meme. And it's like, oh, they will. They will.
Like, yeah,
So
exactly,
great.
exactly what Sherry said.
Yeah.
That is the perfect analogy, actually.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, just because you have a newborn baby doesn't mean you know shit about parenting.
Well, you don't know anything about parenting yet, which is fine. I mean, we didn't either when we had newborns. But now that I have an adult, I know a lot about parenting. Just, it's how that goes. So when your goat is,
she does know a lot.
You've had it for years, you know,
should have
you
a
know
parenting
some stuff,
podcast.
right? I've told you that before. You ixnayed it.
I know, because I think it would be like too heavy.
We can make anything non-heavy.
No, I know, but like, how we get in, like, we super get into, okay, here's an example. When we talk about LGDs, because we're super passionate about like people not being fucking idiots.
Yeah, I know.
And so
People
we get
are fucking
like,
idiots. What are
and
you gonna do?
like,
No offense.
like, not like, you guys are great, but like,
You guys are great.
but
Thanks
like,
watching.
there's the mass majority of people, like when they hear something, they're like, oh, got it. Okay. And they don't listen to like the rest. You're like, no. This is all these other things that you need before you, and
No, don't run away.
Yeah,
They're like,
we
no,
get-
I already have all the
yeah.
info.
And so like you get very like serious. And I feel like it'd be more serious than like uplifting.
I could be uplifting.
Yes, you can. Anyways, so start small is our second tip. And
Yes.
and this goes for a lot of things. If you just get property, okay, you're like, we just bought 15 acres. We're super excited. We're moving our RV. We're going to live there. It's going to be phenomenal. And you're like, everyone's like super excited for you. Clap, clap, clap. And then you're like, we also just got 12 goats and 3 horses and 2 pigs, and we're putting up fencing. And you're just like, it's not the best idea. Slow your roll.
I mean, okay, so what's wrong with that statement? The fencing should be up first. That is what's wrong with that
And
statement.
you don't need that many animals right away.
And
because
you shouldn't, because like it's hard to learn all of those different animals and their needs all at the same time. It's going to be very overwhelming. And if
we're not saying that eventually you can't do it. Just don't
of course.
start off doing it.
Just start small though. Get your fencing
Start
up.
small.
Get
Just
some
chill.
chickens.
It is very
you know,
exciting. Like
it is.
it is super exciting.
But there's time for it all.
Yes. You have time. It's
You've
going to
got
be
time.
fine. It's going to
Yeah.
be fine. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And you'll set yourself up for success instead of
Yes,
failure
yes.
if you kind of just hold back a little bit. And we're not saying like Sherry and I were just like, oh yeah, we bottle fed a goat. Like obviously there's times where you just don't hold back. But again, what Sherry said in the beginning is you have to know yourself. You have to know that
Yes.
you're willing to put in 110%, into this, and you have the time, and you're not like, oh God, now I have to give up this goat because I just can't. I don't have the time for it. It needs like a bottle every couple hours, and I have to go to work. You shouldn't have gotten it in the first place.
Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit.
So
you just know yourself and be honest with yourself. Like it's better to just be honest with yourself and be like, yes, I am this person. I have all this time and I can do all this, versus being like, oh, I'm going to do this. Yeah, this is totally me. And be like, oh, no, this isn't me. Can someone take this goat? Can someone take this dog? Can someone take my kids? Like, stop. Okay, stop.
That was great. Which leads to our next tip is give everyone in your family a task. Okay. So you don't have to be the one unless like your significant other was like, I don't want a homestead. I fucking hate it. It sounds awful. I'm a city person. I don't want anything to do with it. And you're like, well, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyways. That's the only way that it would like end up all on your shoulders. But, if whoever you're living with is super into it, you have kids and they're like, let's go, they can all have a task based on their age and their
interests,
abilities and interests.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So like we have talked about many times, like our husbands are like the builders, right? They are like the power tool, like
wielders.
And I still am going to learn everything because I'm committed now, because everybody was pretty sure that I couldn't do it. So now I have to prove all of you wrong.
Shauna gets committed over really weird shit. It's very funny. She's
No,
like,
it's not.
no, I'm committed.
I don't think it's weird shit.
That's slightly weird to be like, no, I am learning how to use whatever the fuck you almost cut your hand off with.
I didn't almost cut my hand off. Oh, with that one, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you meant the
strange.
chainsaw thing. No, I know how to use that. The zzz thing. I know. I want to learn how to use the chainsaw.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm gonna do it. I'm excited.
Do you see? Weird. Very, very weird.
Anyway, so giving everybody an age appropriate task, just like your kids, like they can still like be a part of it, and it takes a little bit of stress. I know there's like a certain age of kids where they're helping, but they're not really helping. They're just causing more stress. But if your kids are older, what do you say, like 6 or older?
Yeah.
I feel like they
maybe
can actually be
7.
helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
They have actually.
I mean, even Legend goes out with his sisters. Legend's about to be 6, and he goes out with his sisters, and he'll fill waters, and they give him, like, instructions, like, pretty specific, like, one at a time. They're like, okay, Legend, take the hose to that water bucket, fill it up. Okay, now take it over to that pen and fill it up.
But
and
he can do it.
But he's very capable, it's good. And then sometimes he wants to throw hay, or he wants to feed the chickens or collect the eggs, whatever. But one thing I did want to say, though, while we're on that, and this is hitting on parenting a bit, in my opinion...
Can't help yourself.
I cannot help myself. In my opinion, I really don't feel like your kids, just like you wouldn't appreciate being forced into doing something. Let's say, like Shauna said earlier, your spouse is like, no, I want nothing to do with this. I'm not having any part of this. I really don't feel like your kids should be 100% forced if it's not their jam. Like, and let's say you just moved them onto property, that's a hard thing, because I don't feel like they should be forced into doing it just as much as you can't force your spouse into it. And I mean, I would never want to be forced into anything. You know what I mean? Something that I would like truly not want to do.
Yeah.
And there are some kids, and I feel like, leading by example, like, oh, hey, no, you don't have to do it. Just come out with me. You know what I mean? Like, maybe start off that way as far as like the tasks
but there's
go.
so many things in homesteading. I'm sure you could find something that interests your children, because children are always...
for sure.
There's so many different things.
Whether it's building, maybe they like to build shit.
That's what I was going to say. It could be gardening.
It
could be something... A lot of kids love animals.
Yeah.
It could be something like taking care of the animals. It could be gardening. It could be building. It could be canning. There's so many different... Sewing, like any part of it, right? That...
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, it's not like you have to force your kid that hates being around the animals. You're like, well, you're going to get fucking used to it. It's like, they don't have, you shouldn't do that. Like, obviously getting them used to animals is beneficial for everybody, but, they don't have to be like responsible for caring for them if they hate it.
Well, and like my girls love the animals, but some of the animals aren't theirs. So they are paid on a monthly basis to feed the animals. And I think that's very fair. Just because they're children doesn't mean like you're gonna do what I say. I'm just not that parent, and I don't want it to ever be like a contentious point with them. When they are like, you know what, I fucking hate this. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? I don't want to ever get to that point. And so we're like, yeah, we're gonna pay you. You're gonna feed the animals at morning and night and water and check up on everybody. And they have a lot of responsibility, but. They're very happy to do it, though. They have their goats out there that they love, but they're also being paid. So incentives are always a good thing. I like money. Who doesn't?
Yeah, totally. And both of my kids are, they love it. They love homesteading. They love, they always say they love being farmers. They very much enjoy it. There's certain days where I'm like, come out to the garden. We got to get this done. And they're like, I'm like, and I get that. Like, there's certain days where I'm like, fuck you, garden. Like,
fuck you and fuck your mom, okay?
So I feel
That's an
that
inside
deep in my soul. It is an inside joke. But still funny. So, yeah, but giving everybody in your family, if they, give them a task that you think would be appropriate for them, that they would enjoy, because then it will just grow their love for homesteading. If they're actually enjoying that task, and they might want to start helping out with other things.
Right, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
My kids love being in the garden and like picking vegetables and stuff like that. That's like when it's like harvesting time, they love it. And
what kid doesn't?
Right? There's like, I ate all the blueberries off that bush.
Right. They're like, Mom, put in all the work. I'm reaping all the benefits. All the blueberries, all the cherry
they
tomatoes.
like, they love pulling carrots out of the ground. It's very satisfying for them. Yeah. They're like, you did all
They're
this.
like, look what I grew. You're like,
Exactly.
you didn't grow that.
I did that. I'm eating that carrot. Don't get it out of your mouth.
Spit it out. Spit it out.
I swear to God, like, there's so many things where, as a mom, it's like mom life, right? Where it's just like, you're like, yeah, you can eat all of those delicious carrots. I won't have any. Like, there's so many times where it's like, yes, I have all the blueberries off of that bush. Don't bring any inside for everybody else to enjoy.
I know, right?
But like, you're so happy with them, like, just eating healthy and being outside.
Because kids are selfish bastards.
Bite
That's
my
why.
tongue.
Selfish bastards.
Okay, so moving on to our fourth tip
Mm-hmm.
of today is research and learn from your community. So as much as you're going to learn the majority of what you will on your homestead through doing it.
Yes.
By far.
And that's like anything in life is like, I mean, parenting, homesteading, cooking, it's
Like, you
all,
can read all the fucking books you want,
but
when it comes down to it and you're like, up at 3 a.m. with your newborn infant and, you're crying and stuff, that's where you really start just learning a bunch of shit that you're like.
You're crying buckets of tears because you're exhausted. You want your baby to sleep, but you love him so much.
Yeah, when you're like, your garden has failed for the third year in a row, and you're just like, because the deer fucking ate it again. And
yeah, it's just learning is a ton, just you have to learn by doing. But researching can be very helpful, especially when it comes to like illnesses and any kind of disease within your animals.
Gardening,
there's
you can learn a bunch through gardening through like books and stuff is what we're talking about right now.
Yes, exactly. But, because I feel like with illnesses and diseases, I mean, you only have so many options. You know what I mean? It's like A, B, or C. That's what this is, And so it's not like,
I don't know, anyways. But again, I think that is very intuitive for us, because I don't want to sound like too like because we've been doing it for so long, we can be like, oh, that's what that is, No, they're not losing feathers. They're losing feathers because they have mites, Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because we have been around it so long, it's like easy for other people to be like, I have no idea what's wrong with my chicken or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, my point is, like, if I had no idea why my chicken was losing feathers, I would, for example, just type that into Google. Why is my chicken losing feathers? And then Google is going to give me several answers. Those are the only answers, by the way. That's it. There's really not many more, right? It might not give you, if you have an asshole rooster, he's ripping out her feathers. It might not give you that one.
I think it'd give you that one before anything else.
It'll give you, oh, she has mites, or she has, sorry, 5-year-old needs a phone. Anyways, researching is very, very important.
And books are always fun, and I love reading, but getting to know your community that's also homesteaders that that are close to you, and we have said this before too, like, knowing like, oh, your neighbor's a homesteader, or you have like a Facebook group that's a homesteading community near you,
exactly.
Or your local whatever community center, garden center, whatever, like, getting to know those people, they are going to give you especially for your area, so much more information than you can get out of like a book and stuff like that.
Well, and
in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when it comes to gardening for your area. You know what I mean?
Oh, going to like huge. Gardening, like master gardeners
in your area,
classes in your area.
It's awesome.
I fucking hate them because like it's just like
we just send my mom.
We send my mom because it's like a meeting
Mom,
to me.
We need you to go to a meeting.
And there's so much talking, and everybody's just talking. Like, I don't know. I can't.
That's usually what a meeting is. Yes, talking. Everyone's talking.
But then everybody keeps asking questions. And you're like, stop asking questions. I just want to know about this. But I know it's like everybody, but there's so many people involved, you know? It's just like, that's why I hate meetings. There's too many people. I just want to be one-on-one with a master gardener. I want all their information and I want to leave.
You're like, I bid you adieu. And then, you know, that resource to have like a community where you know people, whether you're going to go to them for info for something mundane or whether it's something like an emergency, you know, it matters. I mean, it can be the difference between the life and death of an animal on your farm sometimes. We've talked about this before, about how difficult it can be to get a mobile vet out to you. Definitely have your mobile vet's number and several on hand.
Have a couple on hand.
Yeah. But it's good to know someone that can just come get it done without, you know, obviously paying them an arm and a leg, and then obviously without knowing their, you know, oh, their schedule's filled up. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how busy our mobile vet is most of the time. Like, he's ridiculously busy.
This has nothing to do with the vet, but there's a lot of things too that you can learn to do yourself that, you know, you keep calling people out to do or paying people, that you really is so much. It's just like making bread. Like you're scared to do it because you never did it, and then you do it and you're like, oh, that's fucking easy. So like I thought it was slightly amusing when on one of our homesteading things, this gal had offered her services, and I was like, why didn't I do that? Where she was going around and like trimming people's goat hooves for money.
Oh, I just saw
and
that.
I was like, are you kidding me? It's like such an easy task. It's not like you're not going to cut their foot off. Like, you'll be fine. Fucking do it.
I mean, honestly, with cutting goat hooves, most likely what will happen, if any injury is going to occur, is you stabbing the fucking thing into your own hand. Like, that is what's going to happen.
Truth. Truth. You should have the blood stop out for yourself.
Have it out for yourself.
Because the goat's going to kick and you're going to stab yourself.
Seriously.
And you're going to be But like, honestly, it's not that bad. Like, we put up a goat hoof trimming video. Right?
Yes, we did.
On YouTube if you want to check it out. But it's really just
it's
like
so
anything else.
And I know it's just like anything, it's like scary when you first do it. Make sure you're working with a goat that really doesn't mind her feet being worked on. Okay,
and if you are,
that's like
if
first
you're
off
having somebody out, like that person who's like offered her services, which I think is great because a lot of people don't really, you know, they'll just ignore it because they can't do it. When you do have somebody out like that, be out there and watch very, very carefully, and then be like, oh, can I try this one? And can you make sure I'm doing it okay? I mean, obviously she's not going to get paid the next time because you'll be like, oh, I got this. But still, like, it's something that you just need to learn. It's just like anything else. Like, you should just learn to do the things to save yourself a lot of time.
Well, time and money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which brings us to our last tip. Don't expect to make money.
Don't expect to make money.
Ever.
I think I see on one of our homesteading pages that we're on Facebook, I think I see probably once a week someone asking other people how they make money. If they tell you that they're lying to you. You know what I mean? Like, if they are making money, it's like they're doing a pretty big operation, or
yes.
They are really like,
they're not just like homesteaders. It's like they run a cattle ranch.
Exactly.
And like, you know,
exactly.
It's like that's their business, right? So unless you have like a business out of it, like, you're not, homesteading is a very expensive hobby.
I mean, you can make money. Like, Shauna sells eggs and makes money. Now, does the money cover all of her feed? Well, no. She doesn't break even, obviously, even like at all.
But it covers some of it, which makes my husband happy.
So you can make some money for sure, but don't ever go into homesteading thinking, this is how I'm going to earn my livelihood.
Or that you'll be completely like, oh, I can sell this much of whatever, and then I'll break even, and then I won't have to pay for any feed. You know, it's just like, it's just usually,
it's just not going to happen.
Unless you are very strict and you are really just, you know, that's all you're doing. It's just very difficult. And most people, it's like we're juggling a lot of things. We're not just homesteading, but we're homeschooling, and, you know, we're, you know, driving our kids all different places, and we also have to do all the cooking for our families. Like, you know, you have several hats that you're wearing throughout the day, regardless of who you are. So a lot of people, unless that is your job and your career, and you're like, this is how we're going to make our money within 5-10 years, like, it's very unreasonable.
Yeah, very unreasonable. Like I said, you can make some money.
You can sell, like, people sell veggies, they sell plant starch,
you can sell honey. Honey is quite expensive.
Yeah, there's lots of things you can do.
Doesn't make money on that either.
Like,
right, exactly.
But you're just going to be, like Sherry said, like, breaking even, if that. Like, you're not ever going to be like, well, who wants to go to Disneyland? Like,
We wish.
Like, we
That'd
get to
be
go to
fucking
Hawaii with all
awesome.
that egg money we made.
That'd be a fuck ton of eggs. Lots
I
of
mean,
eggs.
and we have so many eggs. You think we should be able to go someplace for that, but no, nope. Yeah.
I think going into it, you definitely have to have a love or at least a slight desire to be like, yeah, this life is what I want. This like homesteading life, and I'm going to make it my own kind of thing. You definitely have to, and don't go into it like, oh, I'm going to make some kind of money off this. Like, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do it to
don't
yourself.
do that.
Because you're just setting yourself up for disaster because you are
disappointment.
not making money. Yes.
Well,
lots of disappointment.
Like you get so much out of homesteading.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's really,
Oh, yeah.
You're not ever, at least I'm never like, God, like, I wish we were making tons of money off of this. Like I'm very happy just to be.
Yeah, see, I never think like
doing
that. I would
it.
never. It
Yeah.
never even crosses my mind.
I'm
like,
very happy to be out in the garden, to
Yeah,
be
for
experiencing
sure.
that, showing my kids like how to grow their own food. I'm very happy to, be milking our goats and stuff like that, and knowing that milk's going into our.
Yes.
You know.
I think honestly, it has a lot to do with my kids. Actually, that's why I enjoy it so much. Is because not only am I enabling them to have such healthy food, our own veggies and our own eggs and our raw milk, but just the lifestyle. I mean, I know 100% hands down, it has made my kids very responsible. They have a great work ethic. And that's a huge part of that reason is because they have been working. Like my 19 and 17-year-old, like they've been working forever,
I feel like if when my kids are older,
Yeah.
and aren't, hopefully they'll just live with me forever. But
Not happening.
eventually when they are older, I'll definitely never leave my house. I'll have no reason to leave. I love homesteading so much, and I love being on the property, and I love being in my garden. I really have no desire to do anything else. That's the only reason I go out is for my kids, and I have to take them fucking dance and vaulting and stuff like that.
It'll be my, that'll be just me just dragging you out of the house.
No,
And
I
you
don't
are
want
going
to.
with me to have a margarita. Put
Now,
on your crazy red
you
hat.
can make a
okay?
margarita. Oh, the red hat lady. You can make a margarita here.
Shauna, we're going out.
I
You're
don't
gonna
want
go
to.
with me, okay?
Why? Why do I have to? Why can't I
I'm gonna have
enjoy
lots
my
of
homestead?
dogs. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
lots of dogs. I already have lots of dogs. But I'll have
when I
even
don't
more.
have kids, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
crazy.
no, it's gonna be bad.
I'm gonna need
because right now my
an
kids take up so
extra
much of my
room.
time and so much of my love. But when they're out of the house, I'm gonna be like,
I
and I'm gonna
know,
have to
I
just
know.
fill it with
Fill
dogs.
it with dogs.
I already
Fill it
told
with
my
dogs.
husband, I'm
my
gonna have so many puppies.
I'm gonna have to have
So
my husband
many
sleep in a
things.
separate room so all of our dogs can fit in the bed with
My
me.
husband already sleeps in a separate room, so I'm good. Marriage. No, not because there's any kind of, it just works so much better. He goes to work at ridiculous time in the morning. No, thank you. And we go to sleep late. And so he goes to bed early. We stay up late. He gets up early. We don't get up early. That's how that
There's
goes.
no time for that. Get out of your
There's
husband.
no time for that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's way better when husbands are just sleeping in a separate area.
No, it works really nicely for us. And I know most people, when I say that, they're like, what the fuck? But I don't know. That's just the way it works for us.
There's no animosity.
There's
just
no animosity at
this
all.
is
No,
just
not at all. And he
how-
actually prefers it that way. He
Well,
prefers
how many people, I know, when you're young and before you have kids, you're you want to be close, that,
Yeah, see, Juan and I
your-
never had that. So
Yeah,
no,
you've always had
we've
kids.
never
but
had that moment of being like, oh no, I love you.
you
more.
want to cuddle.
No, I love you.
No.
more.
It's just even cuddling. I love cuddling with you. I want to cuddle, when you're going to sleep and stuff. And then after you've had kids and kids, they suck all of your energy from you.
Suck
and you're
your
like,
soul
I
from your
don't
body.
have anything. I don't want to cuddle with. Go away. Go away. You know what I'm saying? Not to your kids, obviously. I'm going to tell that to my children.
No, sometimes Juan will be like, when are the kids going to get out of your bed? When they want to? I mean, we all know the answer to this. It's just whenever they gradually, it happened with the boys, obviously. I don't get to sleep with my boys anymore. They're all adults and nah.
That'd be weird.
No, it wouldn't. That's
Sherry
not
misses
weird.
her older boys.
Well, they still live with me. They live on our property, so it's not I see them
And
every
she
day.
still complains about it. You still are I'm so sad that they
It
no
is sad.
longer.
You'd be sad too.
They still live with you. That's awesome. I want my kids to live with me forever.
I hope. I'm trying to talk Aiden and Abby into just like putting a house on the property.
They
I'm like,
absolutely
you do not
should.
need to buy property. That's dumb.
That is
Stay
dumb.
here. You can have I mean, besides paying off the house for the costs of the actual, like,
Building.
building the house, like, you won't have any costs. Like, that's what? Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
Be smart.
You can all be smart. Totally. I totally agree with you. I want my kids to
Forever. All of them.
Yeah.
We have 45 minutes.
Anyway, so those are our homestead tips.
Yep.
Beyond, having your husband sleep in a separate room. That was number 6.
And 7 and 8.
we just threw that in there. So you're welcome. Little tip from us.
For a happy homestead marriage.
That's right. Happy homestead marriages.
Have all of your dogs and your kids. Have your husband sleep somewhere else. Works better. Anyways, like we said before earlier on, go ahead and hop over to Instagram or Facebook and look for the giveaway post so you guys can enter for that. And then we'll be announcing it, not in this podcast, but our next podcast.
Episode. She means episode.
Episode. I always say podcast.
I know. It's confusing.
It is confusing. Sorry. Besides that, we are super excited. It's been a year. We're awesome. High five.
Yeah. I can't believe it's been a year. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's slightly strange. I mean, time flies, right? Like, time flies. It's very true.
It was so, like, not to drag this episode on, but it was, like, when we first started, it seemed so impossible. Like, when we first started the podcast, all the things we needed and the equipment, and because we wanted, like, good sound quality, and even that we struggled with at first, because, like, fucking whatever the fuck these microphones are attached to, it's just, like, so dumb, right?
Those little box,
yeah,
the microphones are attached, and then that box is attached to the computer.
It's just, there's so much that went
so many
into
wires.
It. Yeah.
You're like, what's happening?
And such a steep learning curve. Talk about, like, learning curve for homesteading, like anything you get into, right? You have to just, like, learn as you go.
And trip and tumble along the way.
Yeah, which we did a lot of.
Until you get it right.
But it's been a lot of fun. I never thought, like, I really enjoy, like, homesteading, and I enjoy being with my kids, but I have really, really enjoyed, like, podcasting. So.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I do too. And, like, my 13-year-old, well, she's going to be 14 actually in a couple of days. She's been a real bitch lately. and like, damn. And love her to pieces, but, like, she's a super strong-willed girl. She's super independent. She knows what she wants.
I have no idea where she got any of that
from.
No
idea. And she's already, like, flapping her little wings, right? But she doesn't want to even have wings. That's what the funny part about it is. It's like she's like, well, no, like, I want to stay a kid, but she's still. Anyways, whatever. So
I was like, I don't know what the plan is.
It's going someplace.
Okay.
So on our way, we'll podcast at Shauna's house because we use her husband's computer. And so, like, on the way here, it never fails. And even, like, getting up in the morning, she's so mad that we're going to podcast, right? Like, mad. Genuinely angry at something, about my passion. Yes, okay? So today in the car, I was just like, and we'd already been at it, like, gone to bat that morning. Like, so in the car, and she's sitting there and she's looking out the window, and just, like, ignoring me, just being a little turd. And I was like, you know how, like, I support you? Because she's, like, this bunny channel. She's, like, super into her bunnies. And she's really, really good at it. I'm like, you know how I support you and your bunny channel? And, like, you want to talk. And I help you with comments and questions. And I do all these things. Anything you need. Your dad built you a whole fucking shed for your bunnies. We support you so much. My husband went and put a new roof, new flooring. I mean, I think we dropped, like, $500 on this fucking bunny shed. There's 3 fucking bunnies in there, by the way. They don't do anything. They just are bunnies. Like, it's just like, holy shit, hun. Like, and so anyways, my point is, we're very supportive parents. Your passion is bunnies. We're talk about jumping with both feet.
Yeah,
Hell
doing it.
to the yes, okay? And so I'm like, you know how I support you? Like, I would really appreciate it if you could support me, because podcasting, we are trying to make it a little bit of a business, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy sitting down with my sister, and we laugh and we talk about stuff that's actually we like to talk about, and it's great. So if you could get up and be in a good mood, and you could just have a smile on your face, you could even fake it. That's fine.
Don't care.
Don't care. And then in the car, we can talk, and you can get here. But we get to Shauna's house, and she immediately sits on the couch and gets on her phone. She's like, no, mad, so mad. We have a book. I was so mad.
I was so mad.
Anyways, yeah. So we absolutely do love this.
Yeah, it is. It's been a fun journey.
It has been fun.
I'm excited to keep going.
And we really do just get to sit here for 45 minutes, and our kids know they can't interrupt us. That's magical, by the way. Magical.
It's a bonus.
It's a bonus. Not in any other area of my life do my kids ever think they can't bug
Bathroom.
me.
Nope.
I mean, you're taking a shit. They're like, Mom, what's the password for the internet? You're like,
TMI.
Oh my God. Why? Why?
Anything. Yeah. Showers.
No. The showers, they just come barging in. You're just like,
I'm
literally naked. Could you just close the door?
I actually was out. Ronan had some friends over for his birthday. This last weekend.
Yeah.
And I was out like in the garden, and I told him, I was like, if you guys need anything, come and get me. And I was just like in the garden. I was in my happy place. It was a nice day. I was like vibing with all my, veggies and stuff. And it was just a great time.
Vibing with my veggies. Yeah. That should be a bumper sticker.
We'll make it a shirt. And then I get back inside, and like I guess it had been like World War III, and I had no idea. And like,
I mean, she did have 3 boys over. You know
3
how that
boys
goes. That triangle. Triangle.
I had 4 boys, because Knox, even though he's younger,
No, he doesn't count.
But he wasn't. Yeah, it was the 3. Yeah, they all like were, and it was just, it was a thing, and I had like no idea. I was completely oblivious to all of it, and I was kind of like, well, I mean, I guess you guys worked it out, right? I mean, they were still like fighting, and I kind of had to like be like, okay, like go and fucking figure it out, like solve the rest of it, I guess. But I was just like, wow, I was like, that was great. I missed all of it. I didn't have to be a part of any of it.
That's where this is going. I was like, where is this going?
I didn't have to, because it was just like, the benefits of gardening. You just have to know.
Mediate.
I didn't have to do it. I had no idea any of it happened. And it sounded crazy. And I was like, I definitely would have gotten involved if I had seen it.
Of course.
But since I was like in the garden and oblivious, and they were like, in the back, like jumping on the trampoline and whatever. And it was fine. It was great.
That's great. No, that is great. See what gardening can do for you.
Know,
Therapeutic in all sorts of ways, and saves you from mediating your children.
I know. It's great.
I hate mediating.
Me too.
I tell my kids all the time, stop it. Stop. I don't want to. I don't want to be your mediator. Like, what am I going to do this like the rest of your fucking life?
I can hear them screaming as we're talking
Seriously.
right now. Like, you guys probably can't hear them screaming.
Hopefully it's screams of glee.
Glee screams.
Gleeful screams. Yes.
It usually is, right? Right? Come on.
No, it's not.
No, I know. I was joking.
Oh, okay.
But,
no. Not legend, at least.
Anyway, so we thank you all for whoever all of our listeners, especially all those that have been there from the beginning with us. There are a few of you, so we appreciate all of you guys.
Definitely.
All of our new listeners, like always, like comment, let us know what you guys want to hear.
We're all sorts of about episode topic ideas, and we absolutely love that because we know that this is what you guys want to hear. And so please do not be shy in the comments. I have a list, an ongoing list, and I'm trying to remember where I put that list. And I did write down in all the comments we had from Victoria, Danelle. I think I'm saying your name correctly. I still have not done that fucking video about the homestead tour.
We're totally gonna do it though.
We're doing it. I promise. I haven't forgotten about you, and I promise we're not terrible people that were like, tell us what you want, and then fuck you. Like, no, I promise we're gonna do it. And then also the chickens. Danelle also was wondering. She wanted the chicken video of a specific breed we have, Karachi Hatch, whatever the fuck they're called.
A video of what?
Just the chicken breeds in general. Just all the chicken breeds we have.
Or like hold them up to the camera and be like,
"This is a Wyandotte.
This horrible breed. Don't get it." Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get those videos, Danelle, and I appreciate your patience, and you haven't bothered us again, and like.
But you can bug us.
But you can bug us again because there is, we do forget, but I have not forgotten, and then I do have the ongoing.
do forget, but I haven't forgotten.
I didn't forget that.
It's fine.
It's good. It's under control. But I do have an ongoing list, which we need to powwow.
I didn't even know we had a list.
Yeah, we have a list of things we have to do and complete.
That's exciting.
Comments.
Look at that.
Comment list.
All right.
So
let's do it. So,
and again, if you could please review on Apple Podcasts, it's just scroll all the way down, hit that rate and review. It's just honestly the best thing you could do for us, the most helpful thing you could do for us. And that's it. All you have to do is just review, and that would be just huge. And then, I mean, we would absolutely love it. And we could even start reading your reviews in our podcast episodes.
We'll even read the bad ones because that sounds fun. I'll read the bad ones.
We're definitely reading the bad ones.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I wonder what a bad one would. What, they swear too much? They're too happy.
I think we've already gotten that we swear too much.
Did we?
Like, not like on like a comment under like that, but through something else. I think it was something through Instagram. Like, you guys swear a lot. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Sorry, but not sorry.
I was like, I would tell you we'll try to cut back, but like.
But it's a fucking lie.
Yeah. It would be. We just can't help ourselves.
No, we can't.
Especially around each other.
Our whole family swears, and like, I mean, our kids swear. It's not a contentious point for us at all. They're just words. I don't really care. And so, like, especially when we're just sitting here just together in a room, we don't have to like be in our best behavior for like our, we have some people we can't swear around.
And honestly, I hold back a little bit. So if that tells you anything,
you should not hold back.
I do a little bit because I
you
still
shouldn't. Why?
Because
it makes me mad.
Because like when I like am like swearing, like I'm like I like to put a lot in there, like
you
consecutively.
Should. It sounds
like
great.
It sounds great, and so I hold back a little bit because I'm like I don't want anybody clutching their pearls at home because like
Shauna, the pearl clutchers are not listening.
They stopped listening a long time ago.
They stopped listening after our first episode. They're like, oh my
They were talking
word.
about chickens and women's periods and women's anatomy. I'm no longer listening to that.
No. The pearl clutchers are not listening to us, so that's fine. You should not hold back.
Okay.
It'll be even better if you don't hold back.
Sherry said I didn't have to. So.
That's right. I'm giving you the go. Go. The all clear.
We need to end this episode. We're like,
they're
on
loving
and
it.
on and on.
But thank you very much. We appreciate all of you guys, and yes, let us know what you think. All the comments.
And how much you want us to swear. We will talk to you all next time.
Alrighty. Bye, guys.
Bye.